Welcome to another video in a series that I am hoping to work on, where I will try and explain the basics for people who are new to modding Fable and help them learn the things they need to get started. This will include guides on how to install certain software, such as the tools used for editing the game's data files, along with explanations on how to avoid certain mistakes. This time we will be looking at a program called ChocolateBox. Pretty funny name, but obviously it's named after an item from Fable, so it kinda makes sense. This program is similar to the Fable Explorer program, which is also known as ShadowNet, that I mentioned in a previous video, in regards to being able to search the game's data and allow you to edit the files how you see fit. However, ChocolateBox takes it a step further by giving you the capability to edit the game world by having a window that allows you to visually interact with objects in the game's map by adding, moving, deleting and editing objects in the world of Albion, as well as the collision control, TNG property control, and the ability to copy or duplicate objects. This is known as the region editor. ChocolateBox even includes the ability to control the camera when viewing a 3D model and an object builder function to help you make your own objects a lot easier by using another object as a template. The program was created by a user called Baystone and was revolutionary to Fable Modding when it was first released, since it improved the quality of life significantly for people who already did their fair share of TNG editing and manual object duplication. Now that you have some background information on what ChocolateBox is, here is a quick guide on how to install the software to your machine. All links required to do so will be in the description for ease of use. First, you're going to want to open your browser and go to Google. Type in Fable TLC mod, all in one word. The site you want should show up as the first result. If you visited this site before, then you'll be aware of this red error message that shows up. Just get rid of it and continue on. At the top of the web page, click Forum, and the page should look something like this. There are plenty of mods, guides, and tools to make your own here. However, what you want to look for is the program I mentioned earlier, ChocolateBox. The site has a search function, however the page you want might not show up immediately. The post you're looking for is just the title of the program, so it shouldn't be too hard to find. If you're curious on any mistakes you might have made or want to know more about this program, it's always a good idea to stop and read some of these posts of information that's provided here. Make sure you're on the first page of this post, then scroll down and download cbox.zip and ChocolateBox x64.exe. You might get an error message that looks like this when you try to download the file. Just tell it that you want to open the file and you'll be totally fine. Now that you have those files, it's time for the prerequisites. These are updates by Microsoft that are required to get the program running. If you try looking for the .NET framework, you might notice that some of the older ones, like what Baystone suggested, don't work or in some cases won't even install on the latest version of Windows. I recommend using .NET Framework 4.8. Remember, the links to all of these will be in the description. I only really tried using the developer pack, but if you find that doesn't work, try the Runtime installer too. You shouldn't need to though. This will download an exe file, let it do its thing, and then open it up. You should get a wizard that you can go through and confirm the installation. It can take a while to install, but don't worry, it hasn't crashed. Now for the next prerequisite, which is the Directx Runtime. The link is already on this page and actually works unlike the other two. Simply visit the link and download it in a similar fashion to what you did with the .NET framework. It should provide a wizard which you just go through and then you're all done. The last one listed I'm not quite sure if you actually need. I think it might already be pre-installed on Windows, but if you even try to visit the link, as you can see, it doesn't take you to any form of download, so I'm assuming that means Microsoft doesn't need it anymore. Since the prerequisites are finally out of the way, it's time to install ChocolateBox itself. Grab those two cbox files I mentioned earlier in the video and drag them anywhere on your computer. I just used a folder on my desktop as an example of this. Create a new folder called ChocolateBox and extract the files from cbox.zip and put them in there. Now that you are done with the zip file, close it and drag the x64.exe file into the same folder. For some computers you might need to right click the exe file and set it to always run as administrators in the properties menu, but in general this should make it more compatible with modern machines. If you're using the Steam version of Fable, you might want to go into the config file of the ChocolateBox folder and then change the file path to wherever your game is stored. If you find your game's file directory, all you have to do is click the file address bar at the top of the window, and then you can copy that and paste it into the My Path section of the config file. There you go, now ChocolateBox should run without any issues. Give it a second to kick in, and if you get a message that pops up asking to fix your modding environment, always choose yes. Choosing no will prevent you from accessing the program. I believe that should give you a general overview on how ChocolateBox works and how to install it. If I have time, I might make videos that go more in depth on what the possibilities are. If you have any questions about the process, then feel free to let me know.